tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
It'll just be something basic. I'm gonna send you 5 words, and then it'll have the definition. And then with those words, you can just write them 10 times each, okay?
Okay.
And you can just read them over and stuff. But you won't. How's the drawings coming along?
Good.
All right, that's real good. So yeah, so be looking out for the email for tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
How are you doing? How's everything going for you?
Good.
That's real good.
Jim, can you get me some water to drink, please?
Okay.
Alexandra.
Hi, I passed.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. You got new glasses.
Huh?
You got new eyeglasses.
Nope. I mean, I gotta go. Jaden, bring my glasses. You know where they are? On top of the microwave. These are my other glasses. I like my red glasses for this.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So you passed. Nice. What you get?
I got a 147, but I did it.
Hey, that's all that matters. So congrats.
Hey, Juju. I'm happy. All I got is math left. I know math is one of my hardest subjects, but I'm not going to overwhelm myself. Hey, because graduation isn't until June. So I figure if I give it a couple weeks, take a pre-test to see where I'm at, and then I can go off that study list like I did with my other subjects. I feel like I can get it done.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the road right now.
For real. I mean, you got one more left. That's it.
And you know you've been doing this journey with me literally the whole way.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been dope. That's cool.
So that's one thing I'm gonna be able to say with my professional development. Hey, Juju. That's one thing I'm gonna be able to say is that I able to obtain my GED. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is dope. I'm excited for you. Like, you got the momentum going out. Like, it's like, this forward momentum.
And I'm focused. Like, I'm focused for real. And then, like, we having our talks here, and then me being introduced to all these different kind of books to continuous read, that plays a huge part in it too as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Where you partying at? Where's the party at? I know. The party's at 11 o'clock. Real talk show. Taboo Free Talk. Tune in. The Black Carrot Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura. Love is more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX 36.
And I am Alexandra.
Blocked and this is an All Ages Alliance production. Day 80, day 90, I believe. Something like that. Day 90, Jaden? Day 90. So the great news for day 90 is Alexandra passed science. Science. Science, 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 science.
I'm so happy. I talked to my mentor today. Everything is looking good for me starting my college course classes and stuff. So all of that is definitely looking good. And I'm gonna start them in the summer though, Julia.
You're gonna start what?
I'm gonna start my online class. I'm doing online. I'm gonna start them in the summertime though. Look at Juju. He popping in and out.
No
Huh?
break. No break. That's what's up. Keep the
I don't want to
momentum
fall off
going.
my square.
Keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I don't want to fall off my square. And I'm going to continuously read. You know what I mean? Because if I get this math out the way within the next month or two, then I figure I'll have April and May to kind of just focus on reading and AmeriCorps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think college is going to be easier than the GED test is, I think, kind of, number one, I heard it's harder than what it used to be.
Hell yeah, excuse my language, I don't mean to cuss y'all, but yes. In science, like each test is like different. Like I remember the last one I took was like over a year ago. I scored a 144 and I failed it, and I had a lot of reading on there. Well, today I had a lot of graphs, equations, but I'm proud of myself because math is not even a good subject at me, but I was handling them questions though.
Nice. That's cool, man. That's just great news to hear. You know, got the momentum on your side.
And then I know for like general studies, I know that I probably I know if I continue to read, you know what I mean, if I do, I have to take a class with science based and stuff, me taking a full class, a course, rather than just studying for a test, is the GED is going to be different than my college course classes. You see what I'm saying?
And with the college, I mean, you're going to learn as you go along.
Right. And I'll have quizzes as I go along, and you know what I mean? Different stuff like that.
Be able to like talk with the teacher, and like if you have, I think college is easier anyway. Mm-hmm. I think college was easier than high school. Just at least for me, just because of the timing too. I mean, I think it's easier if you're putting your mind to it, and you're interested in doing it. It's different. So, yeah, congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. So my professional development, I'm gonna turn that in for tomorrow. I'm gonna put, along with it, main focus was the studying for GED science test. We put a main focus on that. I still have this book because I'm putting my notes together, with entrepreneurship. So I'm still continuing with that. I'm gonna be finished with that though by next week. I'm almost done with that other book. I didn't get a chance to finish up reading it yesterday because I just did science all day yesterday. So I gotta finish
which
up
book?
The
Daring Greatly?
Yeah, Daring Greatly.
How does it read?
It's good. To me, I'm towards the end, and I feel like the ending part is better than the beginning.
Is it like her life story?
It's like, it tells you about her, like you can get to know her in there because she used herself and her husband as examples. But it's more like on how to like keep your composure, and it's good though, you know what I mean? But me, I didn't really start, you know how you start feeling the book? Sometimes you feel it in the beginning, sometimes you start to feel it in the middle, sometimes you start to feel it at the end. And I'm to the point where I'm starting to really, really feel it deeply, and I'm towards the end of it, which is fine with me because what I've noticed in the past is that I used to start reading a book, and if I didn't like it, I'll just put it right down. And I stopped doing that because after I get to the second chapter, if it's something I don't like, I just put it down. I stopped doing that because I noticed I may not start liking the book till I get to the 5th chapter. I may not start looking at the book till I get to the 3rd one. I may not start liking the book till I get to the last chapter, but I'm learning from it. And I take it as an opportunity. So I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Nice. Okay.
Did you have anything in mind you wanted to talk about tonight?
Well, no, but we could catch up. What yesterday? Yesterday I interviewed Marcus.
Oh, you got that out the way? You was able to finish that?
Well, I wouldn't say that we finished. You know
Mhm.
how it is. We get to talk and we can just keep talking.
Mhm.
But yesterday was after yesterday we were hoping that you were on, or we were like, we need some feminine energy or some like a female to balance it, just
Mhm.
because different topics or concepts were coming out that it would have been good to have like another opinion or another perspective on it. Like we talked about race. Basically, yesterday was talking a lot about like power, like gender, race, age, class, like
Okay, so conversations about
power, and that I say power just to make it simple. But like talking about like how race, gender, like we talked about, we call it the gentleman program, like the pros and the cons of the gentleman program, but mostly focus on the cons, like how society creates like a program that men should be gentlemen.
okay,
you know?
how society creates a program that men should be gentlemen.
Yeah. And
I'm just writing these down as conversations or like discussions. And you said conversations about power with gender, race, and what else?
class or age and class. And then we'd give personal experiences, um, or we'd use personal experience to talk about the different concepts. Um, like Marcus gave a story of he was on a deployment, and there was this one Caucasian guy who kept like making statements that were, I guess we would just put ignorant statements, and he's like around, like surrounded by black people. And at one time they had to check him, and they was like, yo, we could put you down that hole and no one's gonna ever find you, right? Like no one know you're gonna go missing. And I guess it humbled him, and he kind of like chilled out with the comments. But it's not that he was maybe doing it on purpose, but he grew up around mostly Caucasians, probably. I think that's what he was saying. So sometimes we can have these unconscious biases just by not having experience.
Sometimes individuals
Can have unconscious biases by not having experiences with the opposite sex or other gender, opposite sex or other races. So like, for instance, like there's some boys that like hang out with boys only. And then they try to talk to girls, and then they could be pretty ignorant. Like they may make ignorant comments thinking that that's the way they're supposed to talk, because their only experience with girls is watching porn, or watching TV or something, but they don't got no real life experiences. We were talking about like, yeah, all these topics where we talked about them, like how our the role our mothers played in teaching us some of these concepts. Like we talked about.
So I can put the role that parents may play with these concepts
in teaching or passing down these teachings or these programs. We were calling them programs, like by programs we mean like these rules.
Okay.
And like, like towards the end of the conversation, we were like very appreciative of the fact that we would have hoped when we were younger, it would have like these kind of conversations would have been good to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
As young men or probably young women, it's important for young men and young women to hear adults talk about power, to talk about gender, race, and class, and hear different sides, hear different perspectives. That way they can see where they fit in. Because, like, for instance, also he was also mentioning, like, when it comes to women, like he grew up, it's like me, with a desire to please, so he was looking at, like, we talked about men's health. So I remember my brother used to have like a men's health subscription, maybe, or he used to get the magazine or whatever. And I would, whenever, I don't know if I would sneak it, I'm not sure. I was older at that time. I was in my teens already. But I'd get my hands on it somehow and I would read it so that I could learn. Man, he said he said his first French kiss was at like 5 years old. I'm like, what? And he's like he was practicing and everything. I was like, yeah, I went through the practice stage as well, but I didn't go through that till like I was like maybe 10, 11 years old. Like coming out of elementary. And that wasn't even with another person. That was me practicing because my mom brought it to my attention, the concept or idea about kissing. But yeah, we're just talking like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just gonna kind of add my little input overall, everything you discussed about and stuff. I've never really had like huge experiences with like gender, race, or class or age or anything like that. And the reason why I say I don't feel like I really had any experiences is because like I'm pretty neutral with everyone. You know what I mean? And I done been in environments to where you can put me in an environment where I am the only person of color, or you can put me in an environment where I'm with everyone of color. And like I've been raised around like all different types of, cultures. I went to school with them. And then not only of that, I have a lot of big mixture in my family, of Hispanic, Caucasian, Puerto Rican. I have really, really big mixture in my family. So it's like, and I grew up like this though. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've never really experienced, like really hardcore stuff to the point where when I hear stuff about different races and stuff, I'm like, really? Like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't doubt it. I listen to it. You know what I mean? Like I can listen to it without judging someone or anything like that too. And then another thing, one of the most things that you just said that kind of sum everything up here is sometimes individuals can have unconscious bias by not having experiences with the opposite sex and another gender slash race, etc. Because of the simple fact is, it's like they don't know better. If you haven't had this experience, you do not know. You take a, a person of color, and only thing they know is like just living around black people, just living in the hood, just living this, and you put him or her in this professional environment with nothing but Caucasian people, they're not gonna kind of be able to adapt to it, whether they're professional, whether they're whatever. Well, I'll take that back.
Language. It's a different language.
It's like a different language, and it's like, and I'm not gonna say it's like a bad thing or nothing like that, but it's like it's something that they not used to, and vice versa. You can't take a person who's been in private school all their life, and their parents are rich, and you put them and they have friends that live in lower income,
Wouldn't
and
understand. It'd be a different language.
they it's a different language, and that's what it's called. It's called a different language. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but it's learning another's culture. It's a learning, it's I call it a learning process. You know what I mean? When I grew up in school, middle school and stuff like that, like I had all type of friends. You know what I mean? My family is a very big mixture.
Yeah.
To the point you have people like, are you a mutt? That's what my son father asked me a long time ago. Are you a mutt? I'm like, a mutt?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Only mutt I know is a dog. He was like, no. I don't mean it like that. And I was like, what make you say that? You know what I mean? But of course he was being funny though. But but it's just, I don't know. But to me, I look at everything as get to know all types of people. Get to know them. Don't say you don't like a person just because of the way you look at them and you hear them talk the first time. Get to know them.
Yeah. And that, like, this is all the conversations are connected, because, like, you know, we think about like slavery, and then coming out of slavery where there was segregation, and then you had the integration process. But at the end of the day, when it came to all those things, there was like a power dynamic that was at play. Because even though, like, the difference or why it negatively affected Black people more is that white people could call the police on you, you know. And even now, like, we're still coming off of that. Like, even now, if a white person calls the cops on a Black person, like, or if the cops show up and it's white people and Black people, for whatever reason, there's a tendency for the officer to assume that the Black person is like the one that's responsible, or the problem. And that comes from a history. And then, you know, people might disagree with that statement and whatever. Like, it's a general statement. It's a general statement. You know, I can't even go by no statistic or whatever. I could probably talk about personal experience. But it's, people could keep people. It's an opinion. It's an opinion. Let me just put it that way. It's an opinion. Because, you know, cops may disagree with that statement. But I'm sure if we did a poll and we asked everybody how they feel, I bet there'd be different answers in different races. And I'm not saying, and I'm saying it's probably better now than it has been before. But we're coming from a history where Caucasians or white people would call the police, and their word was superior to that of another race, you know. So, and then that's and politically speaking, so like Caucasians / white people have had more political power than historically than Blacks. So the segregation allowed, or even in general, by the number of like, there's such a large number of white people in the United States that it's easy for white people to stay in white neighborhoods and white schools and have minimal experiences with Blacks, that when they have experiences with Blacks, you know, they get a culture shock, and they may have these unconscious biases that they develop by watching TV or by listening to music, and they have these assumptions or stereotypes that then they act out through their conversations, and you can hear it in their language. And then, like you said, vice versa, then, you know, you also have people that are born into communities of color where they're not exposed to a variety of different experiences with different people, that they bring those unconscious biases into the workplace or into these new spaces where they are interacting with people of another race, etc. But, you know, we talked about how the way, like, where power comes in. So then that's like, when it comes to race, the power dynamic the power has been more in the Caucasians over the blacks, and when it comes to gender, it's been more in males over females. Um, when I talk about, speaking politically and financially, and that's, thinking about just the workplace, like women would get the short end of the stick, or women wouldn't get the same opportunities within the workplace as men. And then and also in politics, and that's shifting now. We talked about feminism, and we talked about how sometimes there's a trauma that occurs, right? Something bad happens, and then in response to this bad thing that happened, people go all the way to the other side. So like feminism is like all the way to the other side. And then it's like a response to male oppression. And again, I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent, but we were saying, like, we don't think it's a solution. Like, being feminist doesn't solve the gender problem. However, I do recognize that that being feminist can balance out the power dynamics within gender, for instance. And then we talked about the idea of being, so one of the challenges when it comes to like gender is that there's this there's an atmosphere now where when it comes to men and women, if there's an accusation, it's like you're guilty before proven innocent instead of innocent before proven guilty. And I understand, because we're coming from a time period where maybe the woman wasn't heard, or maybe the like women were taken advantage of, and that wasn't, and men weren't being held accountable. However, it doesn't change the fact that women can abuse that, and women have abused that, and it's not a solution. Marcus was saying how there was this one instance where they had like a female officer come into their platoon or into their group and say that like moving forward, like if there's an accusation between a female and a male, that they're gonna believe the female, like that's what they're saying. And that's a challenge, because then you could imagine like the way that the men are going to react to that is like, number one, there's a couple ways you can react. You can react with like feeling bitter and then being passive aggressive to females just out of spite. And then you could also react by not wanting to like interact with women, like F that, like I'm gonna just leave women alone then, if anything I say could turn into an issue. So we were just kind of going from topic to topic, using like personal life experiences and matching it with like these ideas that were coming up. However, I thought it would have been good to have you on, or Daniel, D Steezy, because it balances out the conversation. It would have been good. But I told him, come on. Today he said he's gonna go out with his lady, so he'll come on at some other point. And I thought that that'd be a good break, because we get to chat and chop it up and catch up, and talk about it. And then he'll come back at some other point, and we'll talk some more. I think that the conversations are good, and as we move forward, like today's day 90, and as we move forward on these days, I look forward to be able to having interviews and just basically talking about these same topics over and over and over again. Because for me, this is what I like to talk about. Like if I like to talk about power, like what's going on. Like, do you feel powerful today? And if you don't feel powerful, then who has the power? And what can we do so that you can get your power back, so that you can accomplish your goals and live out your dreams and have a positive impact on society? Because that's the name of the game. Like, and if we talk about current events, I don't know if you've been seeing the news about the stock market. Mm-hmm. So in the stock market right now, there's like a power struggle, but there always is, but never like this. So the young men, I'll say young men. That's what they're trying to say, that it's young men. The working man, the young, not the rich people, not the rich, wealthy men, but the young working class men basically have won a lot of money in the last couple weeks because they made a bet, if you want to call it that, against the big guys, the hedge funds. And without having to go into detail and all the specifics of how the stock market works, but basically the hedge funds or the big time investors were betting on GameStop stock going down. They were like, the price is gonna go down, and they was like, let's say they went all in. They bet a lot that was gonna happen. Well, the little guy, the everyday investor, the person that trades, that doesn't have a lot of money. Well, they got on a website and they was talking and they said, hey, we noticed that the big guys are betting that GameStop is gonna lose. Let's bet that GameStop is gonna win, that's gonna go up in price. And then they bet that they started purchasing the stock and they drove the price up, and the hedge funds lost billions of dollars, billions, like to the point where now they want to change the rules of the game. And because finally the little guy or the working person, was winning, and people are calling for investigations. But basically, the moment that the everyday person starts winning, then now it's a problem. So, Jaden, can I get some water, please? Yeah, so that's why I like the idea of talking about power, especially because I think it's something that I'm very conscious of, because I've been in a position where I felt powerless, whether it's feeling teachers trying to exercise power over me because they're older, or cops exercising power over me because they have a uniform, or because of race, people exercising power over me. So I'm very conscious of it, and for me, I think that strategically speaking, we need to empower boys and girls to feel powerful, and that's why I like empowerment groups. Just to go full circle, like the lady that you were mentioning from Atlanta that you met, the author, she has like that coaching. So those are like empowerment groups, that those are like about helping people, access or tune in or find that motivation to find the power within themselves to accomplish their goals. And then and in order for those things to happen, it's more than just getting an education. It's more than the job that you get. It's about understanding like what's happening in society and being able to stand up for yourself when someone's trying to put you down. Because
like me, like I feel like I have gained more of a sense of control since I've been like by myself. And what I mean by that, I kind of like the fact that I am working with two males, like my mentor. I have my mentor, then I have you for professional development, because what word can I use? It's giving me more of a tough structure than to just be so, you know what I mean, like super kind-hearted. Now, I'm not saying I'm not kind-hearted no more, but I'm more protective. Like I have this guard up, you know what I mean? Like I have this guard that protects me or whatever, because I have these two men that I'm working with, but they're kind, but at the same time, they're teaching me in a way, informing me in a way that, no, you don't have to take that. No, you don't have to do that. To teach me to learn how to say no instead of always being so nice. And I'm not saying like, when you telling me like you're telling me like a little kid to say no, I'm just learning as we are coming along. It is okay for you to have you time. It is okay for you to say no. It is okay for you to turn this down. You don't have to do this, Alexandra. You know what I mean? And it's like a protection. You know what I mean? Like I'm protected.
Yeah. And I think like with empowerment, it comes a confidence. And then I think that's where you can probably feel the idea of being protected, but is that you're increasing in confidence in your ability to like stand on your square, like to do what it is that you want to do when you want to do it. So but yeah, so I mean, I like the idea of being able to interview people from different walks of life, and really I like the idea of being able to talk about, have the same conversations with another person. All right, so let's talk about relationships. You know, friendship, love, and purpose. And it's like, and then now that we talked about it for all those days, now we can have those conversations with other people. You know, so how do you approach friendship? Like, you know, you trust people, you don't trust people. You know, do you prefer to have a group of friends, or you prefer to have one lover? You know, because that's really the conversation that like when I talk about rainbows or hearts, is like, for me, I like rainbows. I like friendship. Like I really rather, I want to have several friends. Like, you know, I want to have you, Janelle, D Steezy, like.
Not saying I can't keep up with y'all every day, but you know what I mean? I got a nice squad on my team.
Yeah, and it's like school, right? It's like, this is like you know, I used to go to school and I had some friends at school, and you know, we catch up when we could, and we sometimes we don't get to catch up. But like, I'm just saying, hey, look, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be at the Zoom, you know, catch me at the Zoom, and then we, you know, we catching each other at the Zoom when possible. But I rather do this than be on my phone on a dating site trying to meet people one-on-one, which I enjoy that too. Like, I enjoy going on, like, the thing about dating sites is that when you're like, I call myself a professional dating site person, is that like, I'm just trying to find friendship wherever friendship is at, you know. And it's easy for me to find friendship on a dating site because I like hanging out with women, or I like talking to women. Like, when it comes to men, I like hanging out with men if we're gonna like go play sports or we're gonna go do something. But if I'm just passing time, I prefer to pass time with a female. But then I also like to pass time with males too. But you know, it's fun if it's males that also like to pass time with females, because then it's like we're similar. Like, I had so many homegirls growing up, and that's fun to me. So I like the idea of being able to go through life and have like friendship versus like looking for love to fill in my social life, you know. I rather my social life, I'm really enjoying the Zooms because it's like, it's somewhat of a social life without having to leave the house. You know, I get to be in the house and have social experiences, socialize with males, females, and talk about everything. Whereas before doing the Zoom, like, I'll be on social media, but see, like Instagram and Facebook, I didn't really use those to make friends. You know, like on my Facebook, that's where I already have friends. And then whenever I go to a Facebook group, I don't really post. Like, I'm more like observe. So I don't really make friends on Facebook. In the past year, I've used it to make, you know, to kind of get to know more people, but I'm not friendly on it. Like, I'm not developing relationship on that platform, and I'm not doing it on. It's almost like, and this is maybe one of the downsides to our current social media, is that, at least for me, liking and commenting doesn't meet my needs for friendship. Like, it's not enough for me. Like, I can like and comment stuff and it's cool and I can keep up with people, but I don't feel like I'm like connected the way I connect with you by having like all these conversations that we have. Like, I feel like I'm much more connected, you know, with you than making a comment. Or now it's easy. I like the idea that I can keep up with so many people. And I can, you know, see people's successes, see people's like let their families grow, and that's cool. But it's different than like these kind of conversations.
Right, like it's kind of dope to like have a friend like from the opposite sex, that you can talk very educational, because a lot of people like me reading and talking about my books that I read, and like I can only really talk about that like on campus, like with my mentor and teachers and stuff like that. Now, like my mentor, how you be having conversations, and I show him the books that I'm reading, and I'm like look, I'm like, this is what me and Julian working on now and stuff like that. He'll look at the book, we have a conversation about it, but you can't have those conversations with just any and everybody. Some people feel like, oh, okay, you reading that book again? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? And it's like,
especially if they're trying to like date you or something. It's like they rather talk about something different. And I get it. But
everybody not for that. You know what I mean? That's like me, like, I don't got time for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's good. I feel it makes me feel comfortable, especially with a lot of stuff I had to deal with an ex and stuff like that. To have men in my life that, first of all, they married, they got somebody. You know what I mean? Like y'all got somebody and stuff. So it's like when I'm talking to y'all, having a decent conversation with y'all, I don't have to worry about y'all looking upside my head or try to talk to me, and you know what I mean, and things like that and stuff. And it feels good to know, like, I mean, I've like talked to Bessie. I haven't like, seen you all like face to face yet, but like I've seen my mentor, his wife, like face to face. But I feel like it because me and you talk all the time, and
she be in the background. She be in the background listening.
Yeah. So it's like it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's different for me because I'm in a place in my life where I'm settled. Like y'all like my brothers. You know what I mean? Like y'all like my family. And I told my mentor that. And I say it to you all the time, like y'all like my family. I said it in the work meeting. I'll be like, yep, that's my brother. I told the counselor, it'll be some days I'll be want to go outside when I be looking for him and we be having planned stuff. But I know that he a busy person too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know because I'm a busy person, because I done had people tell me like, you know that you're super busy, and I'm like, it never really dawned on me. You know what I mean? But now, I mean, I rather keep myself busy because it's getting me accomplishing my goals. I knocked out science. I knocked out social studies when I think we first started doing professional development. Remember?
Social studies.
Then I did language arts. Then I did science. I've been did Constitution. I took that the month I started taking my GED and knocked that out. And all I got left is math. Man, I'm finna dive head in the math. And one thing about math is like, I can be listening to a little music. Like I can have a little background noise with doing math, as far as like the numbers. But like reading or anything, it got to be super quiet. And I was the only one in the testing center today. One of our students came in afterwards, but it was super quiet. And I was like, "Woo, thank you." I was like, "Can I have that same computer I had last time?" She was like, "Sure." And I'm getting that computer when I go for math too.
That's right.
That's my computer. I want that computer. So she looked at me. She was like, it was like Juju wanted some candy or something.
Look. You getting over? You're looking, sounding superstitious over there. Can I get that lucky computer over there? Lucky number 13.
So what I'm thinking about now is like, so we're interviewing individuals and stuff like that. I am going to be out on the lookout to see who I can interview.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
See who I can interview. That's going to be a mission for me. I'm going to look and see.
And it could be everyday people too. Like that's the thing. I like the idea of interviewing everyday people because everyday people got everyday stories that are still important, Like they don't have to have any major accomplishments or anything like that.
I'm going to see who would be someone that would be willing to come on, take the time out and have the time to come on and stuff, because I know we meet late. So I know typically on the weekend, some people, they kind of stay up late. So even if I can get them on a Friday or Saturday, if they're not busy, or even if they can come on maybe like 20 minutes with us. Yeah. I'm not asking for the whole time. If they could just come and give some time.
And sometimes you might have a couple people, like, because Like someone told me that they could do Saturday, and then I heard you say that, simply. So we may have a couple that may want to do Saturday. So we'll just do one person, then we do the next person.
And we can just have like a group discussion or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that pretty soon, but like right now, we're not even interested in gaining like a really big audience, because if we wanted to, we could. But I like the way that it's kind of moving now, because eventually the same or even new individuals, they're going to be coming to talk with us and stuff. But it's going to reach a time, like after we continuously do this, in due time, it's going to reach a time where we're not going to have to ask individuals to come on here. They're going to be wanting to come. And not only that, it's like we're not going to have like the personal time, like you said, to reach right back to them and things like that. But we're not looking to do that right now.
If we start going live, we don't got to worry about that. At least not like if I go live on my platform, like on my social media, like as soon as people start noticing that I'm going to go live, then they'll start tuning in, and then they're going to start participating. And then we'll always have like people trying to participate. I feel pretty confident in that, but I'm not in a rush with that.
I know, and I like the kind of way that we're moving now with interviewing, because it's getting me comfortable with talking to different individuals and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then another thing too is like, I like I like delaying it too, because I love to see that number go up. Like we're on day 90. I love seeing that number go up.
When I because I get up early, right? So I'm like trying to get everything settled, had a good morning meeting and stuff like that and everything for Leadership Ambassador. And after that, I shot out for my test. But I seen it, so I'm like, so I kind of glanced through it. I'm like, I'm gonna get to you. I still got to do Jaden stuff. I'm like, but I got to get to science. I made me some breakfast this morning. I was like, I'm gonna focus on science today. I had my meeting. We have a new outreach.
Okay,
lady.
person.
She is awesome, Julian. She is awesome. She is really she's a sweet person. I could tell that we're gonna get along really good. Like she has a lot of good ideas. Like she wants us all on all social media platforms, putting our youth build on there. Yeah. And I'm going to, I know today science was really on my mind, and then we were trying to form out doing different kind of things like giveaways and prizes and stuff for the youth build students. We're really she's really has some really cool ideas for the students and stuff, for them to be able to win different prizes. We're gonna do we're gonna get a success story for a student and get them a press release inside of the newspaper. So either me or the female that works in the office with me will be able to interview the student tomorrow. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. Her ideas is dope. Nice. Dope. You know how you be having your dope ideas? She's
coming with them. She's coming.
Yeah. She was coming with it today. So, but one thing I wanted to talk about this weekend with you, because I would like to present it next week in our Tuesday meeting, is more of when I explain to Alumni Club to her, more of what it will look like. And I know by you being an alumni member, you'll be able to give me some awesome feedback. Maybe you could give me some ideas of maybe how you want it to have had as an alumni member. And then I want to be able to present them to her.
Yeah. Okay.
In our meeting. Well, the other, because we're all in the leadership meeting, but she's kind of working along with us, to reach out and do things and stuff like that. And I feel like with me speaking to someone who has really good ideas, really student focused and all of that stuff, I feel like we could create something really nice.
Yeah, I think so. And
my boss is the one who initiated and stuff, and I'm so happy that my boss has letting her come in with us, you know what I mean, and things like that and everything, because I'm quite sure she's gonna learn from me, even though she's creating really good ideas, we can learn from each other, you know what I mean? And I think that that's really cool. But I wanted to get more because I was thinking about it, but I'm like, I can say alumni now, but I don't have anything to back me up with it. And I'm like, I want to speak to Julian so I can be able to have something to present, or maybe, see what it may look like, how often they'll meet, what type of things that we can get them to do, and different things of that nature.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And then like the easiest answer to that is kind of like what we're doing here. Like this is
Mhm.
like another way of talking about like the Zoom is it's like a hangout spot, you know. So if you're gonna have an alumni club, then that means you gotta have a hangout spot. And people want to go to a hangout spot. And then at the hangout spot, you can hang out, and then some people are gonna want to do business, meaning some like when you like we look when me and you show up at this hangout spot, we're talking about the future, like things that we want to do. When some other people come and hang out at the spot, they just want to socialize. So, when you got this club, you want to make space for people that want to socialize, make space for people that want to like have conversations about the future. You want to make space for people that just want to chill and hang out, and I mean, just kind of like be able to be a fly on the wall, so to speak, just kind of be there in the moment. And then you want to make space for people that are curious and want to go do stuff. And then as a group, you can go do stuff. So, but we'll talk more in detail in the next couple of days, or whatever makes you feel comfortable. But the easy answer is it's a hangout spot, where then you can network with other graduates. It doesn't have to be so serious. It could be a place where then like, after work, once a month, you go hang out and you develop relationship and you network, and then you guys could invite other people that are not alumni into your space, and then they could present 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you guys have eat a meal, or just talk, play some games, or whatever it is that, well, depending on the ages, depends what you'll do. But yeah, like the reason I brought this up is like this is kind of like what we're doing here is like we're creating a hangout spot. And then when people have time, like when Daniel hasn't had time lately, but when he has time again, then he'll come back and start hanging out. Some people that have visited us, when they have time, they'll come hang out. When we start going live, it's gonna be people gonna be like, well, let me go tune in to Alexandra and Jules. Let me see what they up to, what they talking or what crazy mess they talking about today. and and then the fact I like having a lot of numbers because I like the idea of like of so when people when by the time people start paying attention to us, it's like, yo, we've been doing this for a long time. Like we got 90 plus episodes and we in the hundreds, So that speaks a lot because to do anything like how 90 is a lot. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of days. Like that's a lot. Like usually people will do this kind of stuff like once a week, So if they do this, like if they do a Zoom call once a week, like 1 hour, 2 hours, like we be doing, that means we're going on like 2 years, because we're at 90, you got 52 weeks, that's 52 episodes. We're almost at 100. So that's like 2 years worth of conversation that we've had in like 3 months. And then so then when people come on and then they hear us talking and they kind of like what we talk about, and then they got more free time because we're only on for an hour, 2 hours, but they got more time, then they're gonna be like, oh well, you guys got any videos online? Let me go check them out. And then people can go check those out. And then I think it'll be a lot like, see, we haven't had a chance to edit the videos that we've made. So once we have time to do that, and once that happens, that's when I'll promote it. Like I'm not trying to promote it until we got short clips that we could use. Otherwise, I like coming on like this. We can go live, but I'm not gonna promote it until we got clips, because that basically is gonna be very easy to promote it. Like if, for instance, with short clips, then we can use that. Like I can post short clips on my Facebook on episode 92, and then like a short clip of what it was, and then it could be edited and people can go to it and listen to it, or it can just be raw and people can fast forward it or whatever. But nonetheless, what when it's live, it's a hangout spot. Like if people are watching us live, then they can come hang out and we just talking. you know, friendship, love, and purpose, or taboo free talk, where we talk about anything and everything. And then we're just here, and it's if you don't want to watch TV, then you can watch us talk. And if you don't want to watch, you can join us, get in the chat, or hop on the box and talk. And then we're just getting experience. And then now as we interview other people, it's gonna be like, okay, so now we're hanging out with different characters. Like we're gonna see Marcus as a character, the Grand Marcus of America. He's a character, and he comes with his belief systems and life experiences that can challenge our existing beliefs. And we don't have to agree on everything, but it doesn't mean that we can't hang out. It doesn't mean that we can't like learn from each other or talk and learn from each other. And by learn from each other doesn't even mean that we got to apply the learning in our own lives. But I like to learn different perspectives, and it challenges us, like, especially like, how we talked about having unconscious bias because we don't really hang out with people that are different than us sometimes. Well, this is the easy way to hang out with people that are different than us. And by different, it could be different profession, different age, different whatever, So yeah, I'm excited about it. It'll be, like I said, it'll be very easy to get people to interview if we were to go live, because then people can just kind of tune in and kind of like, all right, your turn. Let us ask you some questions and then you can play along. But for now, we can just invite people, and sometimes they'll say, yeah, that they're coming, and then they won't show up. And that's why it's okay if we overbook, meaning, hey, look, we invite people, and then if you come on and you're on, and we'll interview you now. If you don't, then whenever you get on, we'll do it. So.
Most definitely. So that's what I work on. And then I'm going to add it in my professional development that I am trying to come to a conclusion of maybe like how getting some ideas from Julian like about Alumni Club for us. So that way when I present it to Julian, I'll have more of a sense of a good idea like what I want to present to her.
What's her name?
No, her Jill.
Oh, Jill. Okay.
Your name Julian. So I'm sorry if it sounds like I said Jill and Julian, because I'm trying to like I don't want to say her name, did say your name, but I mean the other. So yeah, but her name is really close to yours. That's our outreach specialist. But I'm going to, my boss is going to read over, she reads over my professional development. But if I put it in there, she won't say no or anything like that, but she'll know, like it'll give it in her mind, like this is something Alexandra is thinking about. So
okay. Yeah, definitely. And then we could have a whole plan for it, and then she can add her vision to it.
Okay, a plan. Make a plan for her to add her vision. I like the way you be talking sometimes. Then I'll be putting my little touching on it when I read.
That's right. That's right.
We're gonna make a plan. For you.
But that's cool that you have someone that's coming in with a lot of ideas, I think it's important, and then it's important to support her because
I'm supporting her with recruitment. I'm going to continue my recruitment posts on Facebook.
And she may need support with content. Like I said, if she wants to do like a social media strategy or campaign, then that means she'll need help with content.
She wants us on all platforms, which we got a Facebook, we got an Instagram, and we got a Twitter. Because the other female in my office, she do the Instagram and the Twitter, but what she really want now is a Snapchat, because that is where all of the younger individuals at, and a lot of people do use Snapchat to see like maybe like see like small videos and things like that of the students like in construction and things like that. But
that's what she'll need help with, is actually collecting like in my job. What would be very useful to me is if I had people that were interested in getting captured. I have a lot of like shy people at the moment, but the more
now, see, some of our students, like one thing like about our students is that they know I'm a student too, and I've been in their shoes, but I think they feel like a little like if they is shy, and I get to talk to them, and I get to tell them like, you know, like I'm really shy too. You know what I
Gotta
mean? Like
step
I
out
just
of the
got to know
box.
these, and they just get to talking to me and stuff, and they'll open up.
And even like those conversations, those are like everything is content, you know. So you having a conversation one-on-one is something that, you know, if the person you're talking to is open to it, then someone can record it from the outside and the 30-second clip you post it. Because like with all her ideas and getting on social media is very important, and it's really about showing people what happens in the program like on a regular day. That way they can be like, oh, I can see myself doing that. You know? So I'm excited for you. You know, it's good that she's coming with these ideas, and just, you know, to be supportive of hers, you know, that way that she can
I'm
be
definitely
successful.
supportive of her. We exchanged numbers today, like texts and stuff. And I told her to feel free to reach out to me anytime. You know what I mean? If it's 6 o'clock in the evening and you got a question about something, definitely text me, email me, call me. You know, I'm not tripping about the time and stuff, because I know typically sometimes depending on our jobs and stuff and dealing with things like, especially with her being an outreach person, her hours could kind of like, sometimes she may get a call from someone
Right.
because it's 7 o'clock at night and that's the best time for them to talk. You know what I mean? Like I'm cool with that. So, but I ain't gonna hold you no longer. I gotta get up early in the morning.
That's right. I'm about to go back to. I'll see if I can go back to sleep. I was
You
having
better go and get you some rest, because you get up early like I do. You get up at like 4 or something, don't you?
sometimes, not because I want to though,
Mm.
but I be getting up early. Um, you know, like for instance, like usually I take a nap um before the live. Like I took a nap, and then so I'll be up for another hour or so, maybe not. Um, and then sometimes I'll get up late, sometimes I'll get up early. Um, but yeah, I've been enjoying these naps, and I love this 11 o'clock time. I really do. So it's all good. Well, it's been good. Congratulations on passing your test.
Thank
You got
you. And I'm
one
gonna make
more
a
to
study
go.
plan. I'm gonna make a study plan for math too, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I will be on tomorrow night too.
Yes, yes. All right.
These
Take
labels
care.
are they working out now. I ain't studying, but I'm gonna be working. So, whew, I got it out the way, Julian.
All
See you
right.
tomorrow, okay?
Later, later.
Bye bye.
Peace. Jaded.
The first thought that came to my mind was, where did you go? You used to call and text me all the time, and then you would ghost. You said you love me, but girl, you be doing the most. Like how the nigga operate off wishes and hopes. When you're not around, I have to find ways to cope. Especially when I can see a smile and hear your jokes. You're testing me, and meanwhile I keep losing hope. You're bringing out a side of me that people don't know. They keep telling me that maybe I should let you go. It got me thinking like, damn, what if I don't know? The truth is in the pudding, and the evidence show that we moving too fast. We can't do this no more. We both need time to grow. We both need time to show that this is what we want, and that this is no joke. Baby, let's prove it, yo. Baby, let's make them roll. Cause we be so in love, but do each other cold. I guess I should have listened to the people who saw something that I couldn't see. Stay on your wayside, I was ready when you needed something. I can tell how you
Who attended?
Just Alexandra.
now there you go again, talking to driving me insane. Remind me of that car crash when I didn't switch lanes. That shit happened to me twice and I ain't got no shame. I'm reaching for your heart until our time comes to an end.
I guess I should have listened to the people who said something that I could have seen. Stayed on your wayside, I was ready when you needed something back to how you treated
Tune out, tune out, tune out. The Black Cat Party has presented the Real Talk Show, the Taboo Free Talk Show, the Black Cat Party, featuring JRX36 and Alexander Blockton. We will see you tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care now. Bye-bye.
You gonna say something now?
She's like, no.